Hey guys, I am going to show you how to draw age. So we've got this person, I would call them a young adult, late teen kind of age, at least with my style as far as it goes. And we're going to first age the person. So let's see, how do we make this person look a little more old? You know, more in their late 20s. Well, one thing that you want to do is you want to move this cheek. You want to make this a little more slender right here, and perhaps have a more pronounced chin. But more pronounced cheekbones tend to age somebody more. You can also make their eyes a little more flat, less round. And the way you do it without making them squint is you make the iris smaller. Makes them a little more like they see reality, makes them a little less doe-eyed, a little less starry-eyed, I suppose. And then you're going to see more of the fold above the eye, typically. So you can make that more pronounced. A lot of times if I want somebody really innocent looking, like I don't include that part. You could put just a tiny bit of circles under the eyes. I usually don't do a lot of that as far as just like somebody being in their 20s, but a little bit is nice. You could also maybe make their nose a little more pronounced. I wouldn't in this case, like not at this age, but yeah. You can make their mouths a little bit wider. Wider mouths means less fat in the face. The fat pushes the lips together a little more. You'd have more of a pronounced, I don't know what you call this, but this little like divot that breaks the lower lip from the chin. You can make that more pronounced. Another thing, if you want to do like under the eye, like make it more pronounced without making it like a fold, is you could have you could kind of color in where the eye goes downwards to make it more deep set, or yeah, so that you see more of the eye socket. So you could actually fill in this whole part, and there's a whole art to like making the shape right. I usually kind of make it triangular, like it comes to a point like right there, you know? So that's something you can do. And then of course, another thing that really helps make somebody look less innocent, a little more aged, is flattening those eyebrows a little bit, especially in the inside part, so that not only is it less round looking, but there's some points here, there's a point here, there's a point here. There's less roundness in general. Angular features, things become more angular. So yeah, this is the person as they age a little bit more. I traced my drawing to kind of show a comparison point. So this is kind of like what I started out with. In terms of aging somebody. So let's see. Let's put this person in their, so this was kind of like late 20s, early 30s. Let's put this person now in their 40s. So maybe we'll have an even more pronounced eye socket above the eye, like a fold or something. I don't know why I lost my voice recently. It doesn't normally sound like this. Maybe we're gonna see a little more like brow ridge here. Like before I made the forehead pretty round, but I'm just gonna make it a little more angular here. To make her cheekbones even more cheekbony, you could have it that way, or you could go the other direction. You know, if somebody isn't, let's see, if somebody isn't, you know, aging and staying thin, then, which is, you know, usually the case, you would want to take this part and make it less pronounced right here. So, and then you'd have sort of like this double situation here. So yeah, you wouldn't really see like as hard of a line here. The neck will probably get a bit thicker. Skin's gonna get a little bit thinner all at the same time. It'll sag a little bit more. Let's see here. What else would I do? It's hard to say because late 30s is very vague. Some people turn out really different during that stage of their life than others. But yeah, I would say that I would make changes like that. Now let's see if she were in like her late 50s, right? That's when we're gonna start seeing some changes. So you want to thin the lips a bit, usually. They're gonna turn in a little bit more. Mouth gets even wider, and also it gets less curly. Because I like to curl the ends of the mouth, but that's how it interacts with puffy cheeks, you know? So you're gonna want to make the mouth wider again, and then make the corners more pointy. Maybe I'll add even more on here. Let's see, 50s, 50s, 50s. Well, at that point, I would say that the chin kind of has, I wouldn't even call it a double chin, but it's like it doesn't connect. This part is going to go down here. This part's going to go here. We've got kind of 2 points here. We've got one surrounding the cheek, and then kind of one that goes down here. Let's see. Hopefully I'm going to do this right since I'm just recording it. I was just kind of playing by ear. I think at this point you're going to want to see the nose a little more. And have more of a pronounced situation there. And of course, like when you do that, you're going to want the lines on the nose to be kind of whimsical looking. The more exact you are with it, the more it's going to appear that that it's just going to look like more of a hard line. The more whimsical, the more uneven, the more like where they don't match, the more it's going to look more like it's a contour line rather than a hard line, because you know she doesn't have like a big nose or anything. Another thing to kind of add age would be to lower the lower lid. And you got to make sure, one way, you know, if you were just generating this and not starting with the person being younger, way to show that the lids are starting to sag is the fact that the iris is going to stay in the same place. So that means that the lid will show some white of the eye under the iris, and maybe it'll cover up some of that on the top part. So see how our eyes are just kind of sloping downward? Maybe we'll make them even smaller. And maybe we'll make her iris even smaller. See how that works? Now we're starting to see the shape of her eye socket more pronounced. Maybe her eyebrows are a little less like defined, you know, they're getting a little bit longer. You can probably draw something like that to show the inside of the socket. Have this match, so I'm going to lower this here. I'm going to make the eyelids a little bit lower, the iris a little bit smaller. Maybe we're gonna see more of this part right here. Although, you know, if you're gonna draw this, I would say have it disconnect with the lip a little bit. It just helps it seem more like a contour line. Let's see, what else do we want to do here? I'd probably thin these out a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now, what else could we do? We could have it a little bit like this. A little bit of lines here. A little bit of smile lines as well, but I tend to not really include those until later. You can also, with age, kind of draw like a little bit of a U shape at the corner of the mouth, because there's this little tiny muscle that exists right there, and you can see it more. So let's keep making her older. You know, eventually you're gonna have these lines. You know, perma lines. I feel like this sounds really negative. I hope it doesn't sound that way, but you know, you gotta learn how to draw age. It's important. Maybe after a while we're gonna be able to see this chin some more. Maybe this part here is gonna drop a little more. Like that. I feel like her eyes should be a lot smaller at this point. They just look huge. They look too big. So let's just keep making it be less and less. Okay. So I feel like we've successfully aged somebody. You know, eventually you're going to just kind of keep adding lines, and it's tough to really know where. But more important than the lines, in my opinion, is the face shape. You know, like where the chin's going, where this is going. Like, to me, that's more important when it comes to showing age, and like kind of the size of the irises. It's not like your irises actually shrink. It's just, that's more of like a sort of a language in comics of making people look a little bit older. But yeah, so that's that. And then of course you just keep kind of adding lines as you go along, but it's that's a flexible thing. I think you should probably just observe to kind of get the hang of where that might happen. Of course, we didn't even do crow's feet. I kind of feel like crow's feet is a bit of a I would wait to do it a lot of times. Like, it depends on if somebody's smiling and stuff, but crow's feet and then like a line here is usually like what people tend to do when they don't know how to draw somebody older. It's not that it doesn't exist, it's just that it feels like it's really easy to just draw somebody who looks young, but then you add crow's feet and then it's okay. So I would try to come up with other options first. Cool. All right, so now I guess stay tuned, and we're going to make her younger.